Ok. Bueno, buenos días a todos. Hoy estamos acá con un instituto muy interesante que vive Malta. Estamos acá con Tamira, vive Malta. También estamos acá con Ana María, que estudió con Vive Malta. ¿Hace cuántos años fue que se hace en Vive Malta?
Yo creo que estuve en Malta como en el 2016.
Hace ya un par de años. Vamos a hacer el webinar en inglés. Bueno, vamos a hacerlo en parte en español y parte en inglés, porque también sabe algunas palabras en español, pero no tanto. Voy a contar un poco sobre Malta. Pero primero, mi nombre es Jörgen Sjöberg y soy el gerente general del Instituto Nórdico, una empresa que fundé hace más de 10 años. Nosotros representamos varios institutos en el mundo, incluso se puede ir hacia árabe en Jordania a través de nosotros. También trabajamos con varias universidades en el mundo. Tenemos un gran enfoque en los países nórdicos y también Irlanda, hablando de estudiar, hacer una maestría, un pregrado. Pues Malta para mí es una isla increíble, como estaba comentando. Me encanta la arquitectura que tiene esa isla y que es una isla tan conectada con el resto de Europa. Hoy en día uno puede ir a Sicilia, no sé cuánto. Tamira, how much is the ticket from Malta to Sicily?
By boat, I believe it's about 90 euros.
Okay. And by plane, I think you could go.
By plane, you could go by Ryanair. It's quite cheap, depending on the season. I think without luggage, you could get it quite cheap for maybe 40 euros.
Yeah, so it's a very well connected island. So you can fly to most parts, puedes ir a varias partes en Europa sin problema. Es muy económico. Entonces, mucha gente sale del viernes por la tarde para alguna parte de Europa y luego regresan el domingo por la noche. Entonces, es algo muy, muy bueno con Malta. Y como le ven acá a la imagen, eso es Valletta, que ven acá, que es la capital de Malta. Y Malta como tal, yo diría que es como Bogotá, decir, como que tienes Bogotá y luego tiene como Suba, etcétera. Y lo mismo pasó en Malta, que Valletta era la capital, pero ya Suba, Suba, entre otros varios, ya hacen parte como tal de la capital. Entonces la capital se llama Valletta y tiene varios como ciudades alrededor que ya literal hace parte de la capital. Y bueno, cuéntanos, Ana María, ¿cuál fue tu experiencia de estudiar en Malta?
Bueno, veo la foto y la verdad como que me traslado a esa época. Mi experiencia en el país fue maravillosa. Yo quería buscar un lugar para estudiar inglés que fuera muy distinto a Bogotá. Yo vivo en Bogotá. Bogotá es una ciudad de 10 millones de habitantes y digamos que moverse acá no es tan fácil. Yo quería romper esa rutina, buscaba un destino pequeño, un destino donde yo pudiera ir caminando al instituto, que tuviera otro tipo de clima, que tuviera que fuera muy distinto. Entonces, digamos que los destinos más populares no eran mi elección, por ejemplo, Londres, ir a Canadá, Toronto o ciudades, digamos que en Australia. Una de las razones por las que yo escogí Malta es porque está en Europa y quería viajar por Europa. Entonces, uniendo esas dos cosas, encontré como destino Malta, el cual pues me sorprendió mucho, debo decir. Es un país pequeño, pero con muchísimas cosas por conocer. Em, yo no me quedé en Valletta porque el instituto GB Malta queda lejos, lejos de la capital, y lejos es que tú coges un bus y a 30 minutos estás de Valletta. Entonces, realmente la experiencia fue muy, muy enriquecedora. no solo por el destino, sino también por el instituto, porque GB Malta es un instituto muy pequeño. Tuve clases, yo fui en temporada baja, es decir, fui en enero, estuve 2 meses ahí estudiando con ellos y realmente veo a GB Malta como parte de mi familia estando allá, tanto los profesores como las personas del instituto en la parte administrativa y obviamente mis compañeros de clase que pues fui muy afortunada, hice muy buenos amigos y todavía son mis amigos y sigo hablando con ellos, al igual que con mi profesora. Tamara, my teacher was, um, I, I forgot her name. Ethel was my teacher, but also Marilu.
Oh,
Yes,
oh yes,
she was my
Marilu.
teacher, and
Yes,
I love
everyone loves
her.
Marilu.
Yes, and
Yeah.
como les estaba diciendo, mi profesora fue Marilu y realmente yo sigo hablando con ella, seguimos siendo muy amigas en Facebook y realmente encuentras una conexión con las personas que te reciben en el instituto. Entonces, hablando un poco del destino, me encantó, me sorprendió. Yo creo que a través de este webinar, Tamara también nos va a contar muchas cosas sobre el país. Y Ravel, la verdad, a todos yo les digo que recomiendo Malta, mejor dicho, a ciegas, si quieren buscar un destino así, pequeño, tranquilo y diferente como a una ciudad grande.
Sí, no, Malta, como que está comentando, Ana, es una cosa increíble, los templos y todo que tienen, es una cosa impresionante. Voy a dejar a ustedes con Tamira un ratico ahora, que va a contar un poco más sobre Malta. Vamos a ver imágenes y todo. Ella va a hablar con un inglés despacio, va a hablar despacio en inglés. Y es como todavía sabe algo de español, pero va a hablar despacio y va a contar un poco más sobre Malta. Y estamos acá obviamente para responder cualquier pregunta, si quieren hacerlo en inglés o si quieren hacer la pregunta en español. Perdón, qué pena, voy a hacer la presentación sobre nosotros primero, qué pena. Una presentación pequeña. Como ven acá, es la capital, como comentaba, que es Valletta. Poco sobre nosotros. Nosotros acá en Colombia enseñamos idiomas. Enseñamos acá, enseñamos el idioma sueco y también noruego. Si uno quiere certificar el idioma sueco, se puede hacerlo a través de nosotros, con el examen que se llama Svedex, el otro que se llama TISOS. Nosotros estamos trabajando con 27 países en el mundo. Y nosotros podemos ayudar con el tema, con la aplicación de la visa y también con el tema de alojamiento en el destino. Si necesitas una traducción de español a inglés, tenemos traductores oficiales acá en Colombia. Y como comentaba, pueden hacer ya en el 2007, donde la empresa fue hace más de 10 años ya. Y si quiere comunicarse con nosotros, acá están nuestros números, el 301-517-6511. Y también estamos en Facebook, estamos en Instagram, y acá también pueden escribirnos a nuestro correo acá, que es info@institutonordico.com. Y como comentaba, acá estamos hoy con Tamira, que es la persona encargada de ventas y mercadeo en Malta. Y con Ana María, que fue estudiante de GB Malta. Y fue un poco sobre nosotros. Estamos acá para ayudar a ustedes con lo que sea. Nuestros servicios son gratuitos, entonces no pierden nada como tanto. Entonces, todo es gratis con nosotros y nosotros podemos ayudar con casi todo, con los seguros también. Entonces, voy a dejar a ustedes ahora con Tamira. Voy a dejar de mostrar mi presentación. So, Tamira, please show us your presentation about Malta. Tell us more about why people should go and study there.
Oh, yes, definitely. So let me just share my screen and we'll get started. So.
Let's see.
So, this is Malta. This is my lovely Birthplace. This is also our capital city, Valletta.
I can't. I think the. I can see the presentation now. Now it is. Yeah. Now I can see it. Fantastic.
Okay.
And then says something about the audience window. And now, fantastic. Yeah. That's it.
All right. So yeah, this is Malta. I'm sure you've explained the basics pretty well. Well, Malta is a tiny island right in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. So 96 kilometers from Sicily, south, and a few hundred kilometers above Tunisia. Although we are tiny, we are mighty. As we were saying earlier, Malta is absolutely packed with different cultures and so many things to do and see that I think if I had to explain everything, I would take hours. So this is really everything that we can condense into a short webinar. And yeah, I hope you like it. So Malta is actually composed of 3 islands. Malta is the main island, which is 246 square meters. And we also have a sister island, Gozo, which is Malta's greener and more quieter island. And we also have a tiny island called Comino, which is just 3 square kilometers. And as of today, I believe there is 1 person living on Comino on his own. I will talk about Comino later because it is a very popular destination for tourists for swimming and diving and also hiking. So another fun fact about Malta is that we have 356 churches. Malta is a very Catholic country. In fact, 93% of the population is Catholic. Yeah, so you could really visit one whole church every single day for every year that you are in Malta. Churches aren't the only place of worship. Malta is also home to a number of megalithic temples. This temple complex is in Gozo.
Tamira, I can't see the photo. It's very straight. I can see a play button.
What can you see?
Now I can see it. Yeah, now I can see it. Fantastic. Good. Yes.
Okay. So, should I just go back? I'm not sure if you could see these.
Please, yeah, go back.
Okay.
Oh, and one more back. I couldn't see your presentation from the beginning. So let's do,
no. Okay.
But now I can see it.
Well, this
so
is
do it from the first photo, please. Go back a little bit, perhaps. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it now. Good. The population, very good.
Exactly. So this is one of Malta's churches. This is Tapino. It's in Gozo, which is Malta's sister island. Then we also have the parish church in Melliha, which is actually home to Malta's biggest beach, which you can see in the background right now, the video. Then we also, as I was saying, we also have megalithic temples. The temple in the picture is also in Gozo, and it's called Gigantia, which can be kind of translated from Maltese to English to kind of giant's place, because the Maltese and Gosden people believed that these temples were built by a giant civilization, because each block that you see weighs almost a ton. So it was all made with very basic instruments and objects, and it was kind of very difficult for for us even today to comprehend how they managed to build these huge structures. Another thing to note is that this complex is actually one of the oldest freestanding structures in the whole world. It is somewhere between 3,600 to 3,200 before Christ. So that puts it at over 5,000 years old. And that will make it even older than the Egyptian pyramids and even Stonehenge. These temples, of course, there are many such complexes located around Malta and Gozo. They have all been granted UNESCO World Heritage status, which is a very huge honor for us. And we also have another World Heritage site, which is the Halsafleni Hypogeum, which is a kind of underground prehistoric burial site. And it's a complex which has 3 distinct underground levels. So it's very unique, and it's also very well kept. Although I must advise, if you are ever in Malta and you would like to visit, you need to book a tour weeks beforehand, because they do tend to sell out very quickly. I believe only 8 people are allowed in per hour. So it's difficult to get in, but it's very, very worth it. The complex was used for quite a few centuries, but the earliest remains are thought to date back to about 4,000 before Christ. And the most recent remains are about 3,500 years old. Here's our lovely capital city again, Valletta. It is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so the entire city is a World Heritage Site. It is a fortified city which was purposely built following the Great Siege of Malta, which took place in 1565. It was one of the first few purposely built cities in Europe. And there was a purpose for the city. It was said to be built by gentlemen for gentlemen. And it was also created to gain a strategic point. As you can see, it is by the sea, and it was meant to be a strategic point for any kind of invaders or pirates that would eventually make their way to Malta. This was actually our old capital city before Valletta. This is Mdina, and it's also known as the Silent City. If anyone here has watched Game of Thrones, I think you might recognize Mdina from season 1. I believe the first few episodes of season 1 were filmed in Mdina for what is called the King's Landing. I'm sorry, I do not watch Games of Thrones myself, so I'm not quite familiar with the exact storyline. And all in all, I think Malta has a real lot to offer. There's not just places to see, there's also things to experience, such as Malta's tiny villages. So the thing about Malta is, even though it's so small, you still find gems like this fishing village, which is called Marsa Shlock. It has always been and still is a fishing village, where fishermen would, go out, catch fish, and then sell it on the streets, as you can see in the photo right here. And the thing about places like Marsa Shlock is they're very homey. I think in general, the Maltese are very welcoming, and you will feel like a local in no time. Malta has, of course, beautiful, pristine, clear waters, and that makes it really popular with divers. The image shown right now is called the Blue Hole. So it is a natural occurring kind of underground cave formation, which is very popular with more experienced divers. But there are also many other diving spots around Malta. There are even shipwrecks that one can explore, but also natural rock formations and cave complexes. And of course, let's not forget Malta's beaches. This is, of course, one of Malta's main selling points. We have many beautiful sandy as well as rocky beaches. Malta has actually just been awarded the blue flag status for 11 beaches just this week, actually. The blue flag status is an award which is given to beaches based on how clean the water is and the facilities. And this year, 11 of our beaches have won the status. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. Oh no. I'm so sorry. I believe my presentation has stopped. Let's see if I can bring it back. So can you see my screen right now, Jürgen?
Not yet. Something happened.
Yes.
Okay. You have to share screen.
So, yes.
Something is coming up.
I believe now it should be fine.
Yeah, it should. It's about to come. Yeah, now it is up. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. This is Comino. Yeah. It's known for its really clear sea. Of course, it's a very popular Instagram spot, naturally. Yeah, this is the Blue Lagoon. You would think it would be shallow, but the sea can actually get a bit deep in this spot, and it's completely clear. Here, this is another spot in Comino, which is known as the Crystal Lagoon. On some days when the water is very calm and also clean, the boats will look like they're kind of floating above the water. That's exactly how crystal clear the water is. So now I think this has been on a lot of our minds. COVID-19, how has Malta handled it? I think Malta has handled it very well, considering we're a small island. So to get to Malta from Colombia is unfortunately still on Malta's red list, which means that if you are based in Colombia and you would like to travel to Malta, you would need to travel to another country and stay there for 14 days. The list of amber countries where you may stay can be found here on the list, on the link called visitmalta.com/traffic light system. There are quite a few countries on the amber list, mostly in Europe. There are countries such as Spain, Greece, Italy, UK, France, Germany. There are also some countries outside of the EU, such as Canada and Uruguay, where you may also kind of quarantine for 14 days. However, it is not necessary to quarantine while you are in this amber country. The only important thing is that you just stay in this one country. And when you do travel to Malta, you do not travel through a connecting airport, which is on the red list. Also, when traveling to Malta, you need to present a negative PCR test, which needs to be done within 72 hours before boarding the flight or boat to Malta. And you also need to fill in a passenger locator form, which can be found on Malta's airport website. The pandemic situation in Malta right now is very great. Malta was the first country in the EU to reach herd immunity. So 70% of the adult population has now been vaccinated with at least one dose of COVID-19, of the COVID-19 vaccine, sorry. And at least 42% of the population is now fully vaccinated. And the cases have been very low so far, and we still have a few restrictions, but they're slowly being lifted, and we're hoping to return to normality very soon. Now for English courses. So this is GV Malta. We are located in St. Paul's Bay, which is in the north of Malta. We are very close to the sea. In fact, we're only about 300 meters from a swimming spot. And we are located in the north, as I said, which is close to Malta's biggest beaches. And they can be reached very easily by public transport within 15 to 20 minutes. As I'm sure Anna Maria has explained, we have a very personalized approach. Our teachers are very caring and very relaxed and very homey. And this is why we see many return students come back to us year after year. We also pride ourselves in our modern facilities. We have interactive whiteboards in every classroom, and our teachers are trained in using them in order to deliver effective and interactive English lessons. This is our student nationality mix for 2019 to 2020. We get most of our students from Europe. In the past years, we have seen mostly German, Russian, and Czech students, but we also have students from Japan. We also get some students from Colombia, which is during those years stood only at 1%. We do not exactly know how the situation will be in 2021 in summer and as well as autumn, winter. Reason being is it's quite unpredictable and we're not sure how the rest of the year will be playing out. But we hope to welcome all the students who would like to come. We do offer a few different courses. We offer adult English courses as well as courses for children and also business courses. Our most popular courses are our general English courses. So these can be for 20 lessons per week or 30 lessons per week. One lesson is 45 minutes, by the way. Basically, the general English course gives you the best kind of study experience for more English that is needed for everyday situations. So it focuses a lot on grammar, language structure, speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Vocabulary and conversational skills are also included in the general English course. And if you would like to build more upon conversational skills, I would recommend you would go for 30 lessons per week, as students are offered an extra 10 lessons per week based on conversational classes. This is what, oops. let's go back. This is what one of our classes looks like at GV Malta. At the moment, due to COVID, we can have a maximum of 6 students per class. So classes will be a bit smaller because we have to respect social distancing, of course. But all courses are set to go ahead this year anyway, especially our business English courses. This course is designed for business people or even people who are looking to start a career in business. It focuses on a range of different topics which would be needed in the workplace. There's also the option to have 20 lessons per week or 30 lessons per week. And I would recommend this course for students who are at least at an intermediate level, because you would require some knowledge of English before you get into the more professional side of it. We also have a range of other English courses, such as our beginners mini group. We recommend this course for students who have no background in English, who can't really communicate in English at all. So what we do is, should there be a student who is a complete beginner, we would start them off in the beginners mini group. And as soon as they have reached a basic level of English, then we can admit them into the general English course. We also have communicative English lessons. So it's ideal for students who want to practice their conversational skills without really focusing on grammar. And we also offer private lessons and semi-private lessons. And these are more meant for students who are looking to focus on something very specific, as, for example, preparing for an exam or preparing for a job interview or anything at all, really. This is a very effective way to really improve your English quickly and effectively, as private lessons would be tailored especially to the students' needs. So it really gets down to the to the nitty-gritty, as we would say in English. I'm not sure exactly how that would translate. This is our lovely terrace. This is where our students spend their breaks. We also have courses for children and for teenagers. And we also have a summer camp, which is located more in the center of Malta. And we also offer accommodation to our students. We offer 3 different types of accommodation. We offer sea view apartments, which you can see in the top picture. These apartments are 2-bedroomed apartments, so they can be shared with friends or family. And we also have another set of apartments which can be seen in the lower left section of the collage. These apartments are just 150 meters away from the school. And we have a range of options. So we have shared apartments, which is the best option for solo travelers. So you can choose a single room, or you may also choose a shared room in a shared apartment. Or you could also choose a studio apartment, which can sleep up to 3 people. And you may also choose a 2-bedroom apartment, which would be best for groups of friends or families. We are also offering host family stays this year, although availability is a bit limited due to COVID, of course. You may choose a single or a shared twin room with a English-speaking family located around our main school in St. Paul's Bay. And to sweeten the deal, the Maltese government has announced a scheme for vouchers. The way it works is all students can apply if they are booking a stay between 15 nights and upwards. You will receive a €10 voucher for every night that you book in Malta, up to a limit of €300, so 30 nights. And these vouchers can be used in many different shops, restaurants, even hotels, and even the language school itself. And the way it works is you just need to apply with us. So you need to book your course and book your flights, pay in full, submit your details, and we will register the student for the course. There's some eligibility criteria, such as the course must start after 1st June, and it must also end by 31st December 2021. As I said, the student must be in Malta for a minimum of 15 nights. And if you are in Malta for this duration, you will receive a €10 voucher for every night, up to 30 nights. And the student must also be 13 years of age or over. And you also need to submit the following details, but I won't bore you with the details. Okay. That brings me to the end of my small presentation. Jürgen, if you have anything to say.
Yes. Well, thanks for amazing presentation, Tamira. Just watching these photos wants me to travel again to Malta. It's such an amazing island, and I just love it. As I said, I've been there twice, and it's an amazing island. Pues hablando un poco más de Malta en español, Malta como tal es una isla pequeña. Es decir, como que vive Malta, que como en el norte de Malta, pues es una isla muy pequeña. Literal, es como, tiene tres, como también estaba contando, tiene tres islas, que es Comino, Gozo y Malta. Para la gente que en Malta es como ir a Gozo, es como salir a Chilla, acá en Bogotá, literal, a almorzar. Entonces van a Gozo durante el día y luego regresan por la tarde, literal. Es como funciona. Es una isla muy pequeña. El otro tema para mencionar es el tema de la visa. Los colombianos pueden ir a Malta y estar allá 3 meses sin visa, porque Malta hace parte de los países Schengen. Y después de 3 meses es necesario aplicar una visa si uno quiere quedarse allá más tiempo. Tamira, how is it working with the visa? You can stay like Colombia can be in Malta for 3 months without any problem, and then they also need to apply for a visa. Would like to stay longer. How is it working, Tamira?
So, if you'd like to stay beyond 90 days, you would need to apply for a visa extension while in Malta. You would need to head to the visa unit, which is located in Malta. You have a form to fill out, but that's the way it's working right now. I mean, it's not a very difficult process. It's quite straightforward. And of course, the school can help with visa extensions.
Good. Do you know how much you need to show when it comes to bank statements? Have you got an idea about the €30 a day? How much is it?
I am not exactly sure, and I wouldn't like to give a wrong answer in that case.
No problem. That is something we can have a look at afterwards. But it's quite, como Tamira comentaba, el tema de la visa no es un tema complicado. Me parece que como hay que mostrar un extracto bancario, no más. Entonces, la visa como tal no es complicada. Have you got any, what's your experience with the visas? Have you got any problems so far with the visa applications, or been quite straightforward?
Well, recently, in the last few weeks, more and more countries have started accepting visas again. So I think that's a very positive sign that things are returning back to normal. And I believe there shouldn't be any further problems with obtaining visas, especially from Colombia. As you said, since it's a Schengen zone, it should be quite straightforward to come here for 90 days. And then beyond that, the student visa extension should not be a very difficult process.
Pues es una muy buena respuesta. Que literal, uno pasa en 90 días y luego extender la visa y no tiene muchos problemas. Es más como mostrar que uno tiene el dinero en la cuenta bancaria, es más de todo un tema, demostrar que uno tiene para tener para la resolvencia económica. Pero no como tal es complicado. Y aparte de eso, que ahora pueden recibir hasta 300 euros para usar en tiendas, incluso para excursiones y todo, es otro plus para ir a Malta justo ahora. El tema, bueno, hablando como de como la lista de los países por la cual uno tiene que pasar antes, yo creo que Turquía también está en esa lista. Tamira, Turkey is also on the amber list, am I right?
Yes, Turkey is on the amber list. You should be able to travel with no problems. However, the situation for visas between Turkey and Malta is a bit complicated at the moment, so I don't think I would recommend traveling through Turkey at the moment. I would rather choose countries such as Spain or even the UK or Germany or France, as these countries are much easier to travel to spend your 14 days between Colombia and Malta in.
Okay. Yeah, that's something you need to have a look at. But can you also imagine that all these restrictions are going to ease as well? So at the moment, you
Exactly.
need to, but I think it's just the time. It shouldn't be that long until the restrictions shouldn't be that much, that heavy, I think. Pues tenemos varias personas que no sé si tienen alguna pregunta puntual. Si quieren, pueden abrir pueden hacerlo por el micrófono o si quieren pueden colocarlos también en el chat. No sé si tienen alguna pregunta justo ahora sobre Malta. Bueno, hablando del clima, bueno, Malta es una cosa increíble hablando del clima. Tamira, what's the lowest temperature in Malta?
Well, in the winter time, around January, February, it's generally around 15 degrees Celsius. So not very cold compared to the rest of Europe. It can go down to sometimes 5 degrees Celsius, but that's really the lowest it can go. It's actually impossible for it to snow in Malta, so we cannot get any minus degrees Celsius in Malta. So the weather is generally very pleasant here, and we have an average of about 300 days of sunshine in Malta. So any time of year, I think it's a good time to visit in terms of climate.
300 days only. It's pretty much entire year, isn't it? Very good. And then in summer, what's the temperature in summer?
So in summer, it can get quite hot sometimes. It's usually around 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. Although if there's a heat wave, it can easily go up to even 38, 39, sometimes even 40 degrees Celsius if there's a heat wave, of course.
15 grados está un buen clima, me parece. 15 grados en el invierno. De pronto, como hace algo, hace viento en esa época, en el invierno, pero el clima es muy bueno todo el año. La vez pasada fui en diciembre, no, el clima perfecto. Me puse una chaqueta liviana y ya, eso fue todo, pero fue muy, muy bueno, hablando del clima. Ana, ¿qué piensas tú del clima en Malta? Porque tú fuiste, creo que fue en enero, ¿fue?
Sí, yo estuve en enero y febrero, que es como el tiempo más frío de la isla, y realmente no fue tan frío. Creo que siento más frío en Bogotá. Había mucho viento, pues esa es una época en la que uno no puede ir al mar, es decir, nadar para nosotros los latinos, ¿no? Porque como lo estábamos hablando antes, en esa época se ven rusos y alemanes nadando y está muy frío el mar. Pero en general el clima es muy bueno. Yo quería comentar algo sobre los lugares que Tamira nos mostró. Yo también me sorprendí mucho de conocer los templos, que son las estructuras más antiguas del mundo y no sabía que quedaban en Malta. La isla de Gozo es muy linda. Lastimosamente ya no está Azur Window. Era un lugar muy lindo. También fue un lugar emblemático para la serie de Game of Thrones, pero ya no está, se cayó. Era una estructura de roca formada pues por la erosión del viento y ya no está, pero la isla también es muy linda. Quería como comentarles algunos tips que de pronto para los colombianos siempre tenemos como esas preguntas de cómo sería vivir en un lugar como Malta. Cerca de Valletta se encuentran ciudades como St. Julian's y la calle más famosa que es Pashiville, que es donde está toda la rumba en Malta. Personalmente no soy una persona muy de rumba y allá es donde más se encuentran los institutos de idiomas de Malta. Tuve la oportunidad de ir varias veces al lugar, es un lugar bastante concurrido y se encuentran muchos latinos. Mi interés en estudiar en Malta, personalmente, era ir a estudiar inglés y tener una inmersión donde yo pudiera hablar el idioma. Entonces, hay opciones en las que si uno quiere ir y pasar rico y de pronto conocer gente que hable el mismo idioma de uno, me parece que St. Julian's cuadra muy bien. Sin embargo, mi experiencia era más estar como inmersa en la cultura de ellos y GB Malta queda en St. Paul's Bay y es un lugar en donde se puede ver más la cotidianidad del país. Entonces, otra cosa que tiene GB Malta, como ustedes lo vieron, hay muy pocos latinos hispanohablantes. En mi curso yo era la única colombiana y en la escuela solo éramos dos que hablábamos español, incluso tres. Después llegó otro español, eran dos españoles y yo era la única colombiana, lo cual es muy bueno, porque aunque tú tengas compañeros latinos como los brasileros, pues te obligas a hablar en inglés y eso es muy bueno. Sobre el costo de vida en Malta, me parece que a pesar de que es una isla que maneja euros, es muy económico. Y hay un punto a favor y es que en Malta comen mucho. Es decir, los platos son muy generosos. Entonces yo podía pedir generalmente entradas y no era necesario comer el plato entero porque realmente es mucho. Entonces eso hace que todo sea más económico. Yo hacía mercado en mi casa y compartía el mercado con mi compañero de apartamento y cocinábamos juntos y eso hace que uno ahorre mucho dinero. I was telling them, Tamira, that in Malta, the size of the dishes are huge. For me, it was huge. So I used to order the starters, uh, and that was enough for me. So I was telling them. I don't know, what do you think about?
Yeah, definitely. I think that us Maltese, we love our huge dishes, and I think they're quite worth the money, and I think they're quite good quality now too. Um, I think since you visited, we also have a few Michelin star restaurants now too, so that's something to look forward to. Yeah. What did you like eating in Malta? What kinds of foods were you eating?
So, I'm I I ate a lot of pastisi and
Oh
it was
yes.
insane because it was just around the corner and
Yeah.
it's very cheap, and it's like a piece of bread. It's not bread, but it's very
Flaky. Yeah.
crushy, or I don't know how to. Yes, correct. And I've been eating, I think, like for 2 weeks, every day once, and I was like, no more, please. I need to eat healthy in Malta. So, and then I went to Mdina, and I ate the best chocolate cake I have ever tasted in my life.
Yes,
And
it's my
with an
favorite
amazing
too.
view. It's so tasty, and the place is lovely. You have a really, really nice view. It's a coffee. It's a coffee in the top of the wall. I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
sure. I'm not sure. And you can see all of the view, the hills, and it's such a great place to eat a piece of cake. And the other thing that I was eating a lot. Okay, I drink a lot of beer, and I
Mhm.
went to this Irish beer pub in Valletta. It's
Mhm.
famous because there some famous actor died. You know
Yes,
that. Yes, yes. It was in this film, The Gladiator, and one of
exactly.
them, Gladiator, was. Uh-huh, some part of this film was recorded there in Valletta, and one of them, well, it's a quite large story, but I was there, and I would like to go again.
You
Yeah,
know,
sounds great.
yeah, no, Malta got so much to offer. It's quite a small island, but so much to offer. And looking at all the temples and everything, it's just such an amazing place. Yeah, I think hopefully we can go now in August. Let's see if we can pop by Malta. It's quite close, and it's, as you said, like cheap flights. And it's got it the Viva Air. It's called, you got Viva Air in Colombia, and in Europe, it's the owners of Viva Air is actually Ryanair, and it's a very good value. So as I said, you can travel around quite freely in Europe. Well, at the moment it might be a bit tricky, but yeah, in a short moment you should be able to travel around in Europe quite easily. Pues no veo como que nos das preguntas por el momento. Nosotros estamos acá para ayudar a ustedes con lo que sea, hablando de ir a Malta. Podemos hablar con ustedes después en la próxima semana y enviar una cotización por el tiempo que ustedes quieren estar en Malta. Recomiendo mucho que ustedes queden en el alojamiento de ellos. De hecho, está a un buen precio y a veces sí, es un poco mejor, diría yo. Y la mayoría de la gente, de hecho, se queda en el alojamiento de Give Malta todo el tiempo, todo el periodo de estudio, por eso que está muy cerca, el instituto también. Entonces, la próxima semana con gusto pueden mirar, pueden enviar una cotización de ustedes del tiempo que quieren estar en Malta. No sé si Ana María tiene... ¿Sí?
Jorgen, sí, sobre el tema del alojamiento, es muy importante que sepan que a veces nosotros los colombianos buscamos mucho la economía, y muchas veces en otros destinos es usual que uno empiece a estudiar y viva en los alojamientos del instituto y luego busque algo más barato. Mi experiencia, y vi que muchos compañeros míos que no tomaron el alojamiento con GB Malta tuvieron muchos inconvenientes. Yo me quedé en uno de los apartamentos de GB Malta que queda sobre el mar, tenía vista al mar, compartí el apartamento con varios compañeros y realmente fue muy cómodo. Yo creo que hoy en día es el hospedaje más lejano de la escuela, y yo me demoraba 5 minutos caminando, o sea, no es grave. ¿Por qué no recomendaría alojarse como en un Airbnb o en arrendar un apartamento en Malta? Es porque ellos tienen unas tasas de pago de servicios públicos que no son muy claras, ¿sí? y tuve la experiencia de ver que algunos compañeros tenían problemas con eso. Y lo otro es que no es tan fácil, como es una isla tan pequeña, no es tan fácil encontrar alojamiento, y más porque la isla es turística, como decía Tamira, 300 días al año tiene sol y buen clima, entonces es muy turística y no es tan fácil encontrarlo. Entonces, el alojamiento que ofrece el instituto es muy económico, no es costoso y es muy cercano. Entonces, les recomiendo muchísimo que tomen el paquete que ellos ofrecen, que es con las clases y el alojamiento.
Perfecto, sí, sí. Lo que dice Ana es muy cierto que es mejor de pronto que no haga, por lo menos que no toman, digamos, un mes, 2 meses con la escuela, por lo menos, o todo el tiempo, todo el periodo. La mayoría de la gente sí hacen eso, que quedan, se quedan en el alojamiento de Give Malta todo el periodo, porque está cerca, no tiene que usar bus para llegar al instituto, no, está aquí, ahí al lado. Entonces es algo muy bueno. Además que bueno, pues, muchas veces la gente cocina juntos en el instituto. Entonces es lo otro que uno puede ahorrar bastante por eso también están en el instituto.
Tengo que contarles que yo fui muy afortunada porque compartí el apartamento con un amigo hombre y él no sabía cocinar y a mí me gusta mucho cocinar. Entonces él se dio cuenta que yo era muy buena en la cocina, entonces hacíamos un trato y es que él me compraba los ingredientes y yo cocinaba. Entonces era fantástico porque yo ahorraba mucho dinero. Tamira, I was very lucky because my roommate was a man, like 45 years old, and he doesn't know cook. He doesn't like cook, so I like. So he bought me all the ingredients, all the food, and I just wanted to cook, and that's it. I was very lucky and I saved a lot of money in that way. And nowadays, Robert, it's very good friend of mine, and we're still in touch all the time, and it was a great for me.
Yes, I can hear that. Anna Maria got a very good experience in being in Malta. And that is the good thing, that Colombians can go to Malta and study for up to 3 months without a visa, which is a good, very good thing. We're looking at other destinations like Canada, UK, Ireland. You just apply for a visa. While with Malta, you don't need to apply for a visa, which is a very good thing, being a Colombian. So I think we haven't gotten, ¿en dónde pueden encontrar los costos de los cursos? En el sitio, perfecto, listo. Listo, Laura, nosotros con gusto podemos enviarte una cotización después, este webinar. Acá tenemos tus datos, Laura. Entonces, después de este webinar te enviamos una cotización. Pueden enviar una cotización de 3 meses y de 6 meses, si tú quieres. Entonces, después de la reunión o el webinar hoy, podemos enviarte una cotización, pero sí, nosotros encargamos todo ese tema, incluso el seguro médico y todo. Entonces, no te preocupes, Laura. Después de la reunión comunicamos contigo. Tamira, any last words from you today?
Well, thank you so much for having me today. I really hope I kind of gave you all a bit of an insight into what Malta is all about. Thank you so much, you too, Anna Maria, for sharing your experience. It was really lovely to hear from an ex-student. And
You're
I
welcome.
hope to thank you. And I hope to see you or any of the other people in this webinar in Malta soon, maybe this summer, but who knows?
Very good. ¿Algunas últimas palabras por ti, en parte de ti, Ana?
No, que la verdad que se animen, es un gran destino. No necesitas quedarte 1 año o 6 meses si simplemente quieres como vivir la experiencia de tener un espacio para mejorar tu idioma. Es cuestión de tener ganas e ir. Yo estuve 2 meses y mi experiencia fue que, bueno, realmente a mí me gustó estudiar mucho, fui muy juiciosa estudiando, y nivel intermedio superior y terminé el nivel para seguir avanzado. Bueno, por el tiempo no pude continuar, pero realmente es más la experiencia de ganar confianza en hablar inglés, porque sé que muchos de ustedes están entendiendo y de pronto no les da confianza lanzarse al agua y hablar. Entonces creo que es la experiencia más enriquecedora que yo he tenido y realmente lo volvería a hacer, volvería a ir a GB Malta. Tengo muchísimas ganas de volver por lo menos 2 semanas y estar con ellos, vivir la experiencia, volver a estudiar inglés. Realmente lo recomiendo muchísimo.
Muy bien, pues nosotros, sí, como comentaba, estamos acá en Colombia y pues todos nuestros servicios son gratuitos. Entonces, después del webinar vamos a comunicarnos con ustedes. Igual, creo que envié un mensaje que hace todo por WhatsApp antes del webinar. Con gusto podemos conocer todo el trámite de la aplicación. También podemos ayudar a ustedes buscar un tiquete a Malta a un buen precio. Esos es los servicios que prestamos acá en Colombia. Pues, Tamira, Ana Maria, well, thanks a lot for being with us here today. And as Tamira said, hopefully we will see some of you in, hopefully we'll be able to travel to Malta soon and to experience studying in Malta, which is an amazing island, which I've seen today with all the photos that Tamira have showed you. So for us, well, have a good weekend for you. Have a nice evening, Tamira, and
Thank you.
Hope to see you again soon. So thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you.
Tamira.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.